Hi guys, I'm Pierre, this is Edwin. No, I'm Edwin, this is Pierre. I'm just going to start you off with a quick video. So for the guys that don't know about the Entelect Challenge, the Entelect Challenge is a coding competition, as far as we know the biggest in South Africa. We're giving away 200,000 Rand in prizes, so you can win a nice share of that. It's usually based on a retro or classic game, so each year we pick a different theme with different rules. Each year the game is different, so it's a new challenge if you want to keep on partaking through the years. We're calling on all professionals, enthusiasts, students, anyone that wants to partake in this challenge. They can just come and enjoy some fun coding for once. If you don't want to work on that banking system again, you know. So we basically challenge people to come and code an intelligent bot to play a game. So you don't have to use AI, although this is a nice place where you can test out your AI skills if you want to learn something new. You can just use logic and problem solving or just your normal development skills to actually partake and build your first bot. The history of the challenge, we've been running it now for 7 years. We started out with Tron, then we did Battle City, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Bomberman, and then last year we did Battleships. Fun fact, in 2016 we actually doubled the prize money from 100,000 Rand that we gave to the winner to 200,000 Rand that we spread amongst the finalists. So this year we're also introducing a new challenge that will run with the main challenge, or on the side. It's the University Cup. So this is basically just to give students a chance to actually also partake in the challenge, but they're usually busy throughout the year. So this is a one-day hackathon that will be held at the participating universities, and it's almost something like Google Hashcode. So we'll release a problem statement, and they have 6 hours to solve this, and then the winners will actually get a gaming laptop each, and then tickets to ComicCon to watch the main challenge finals. And then we'll also sponsor some cool gadgets for the university's lab. So like you saw in the video, this year we're doing tower defense. We themed the game around Red Alert, the classic Command and Conquer game, and we use the mechanics from Plants vs. Zombies. But because you're not playing as a player versus the computer, it's player versus player, it's more like plants versus plants. You basically just have to place buildings on the map to defend your base and try to destroy the enemy's base. The basic skills we're actually challenging this year is economy management and overall gameplay strategy. So last year we tried this format for the challenge, and we decided it works really well, so we're going to do the phased approach again. And this means there's going to be 4 different tournaments that's going to be run. The first 3 will be round robins, and then the third one will lead into the finals, which is the double elimination. You can submit your bot anytime between the first 3 tournaments. So the final deadline is with the third tournament on 9 September. Well, I actually think it's midnight on 8 September, but then the tournament will be run on the 9th. Each of the first 2 tournaments, if you come in first place after the round robin was run, you get a ticket straight to ComicCon at the finals, and then second and third place has a nice cash prize to say sorry for not getting the golden ticket. So like I said multiple times, ComicCon is the venue for the finals. We're actually going to be on the main stage at 11 a.m., so that's pretty cool. We're excited to be there. It's the first ComicCon in Africa, actually, so it's going to be awesome. The first place prize is actually 70,000 Rand, so that's quite a lot of money for those of you that don't know. The other cool thing is if you come any place from 2nd to 8th place, you still get quite a sum of money. So that's more incentive to actually partake.
Okay, so the basic rule summary that we have. Each player will start with 20 health and 100%. 100% health and 20 energy. And the player can spend energy to place buildings. He's going to use these buildings to defend and attack and at the end overwhelm his opponent. The different kinds of buildings are attack, defend, and energy generators. So the one is economy, the other one is defensive, and the other one offensive. Each turn, a player can do one of the following. They can either do a nothing command. That means skip this round. I don't want to spend energy or do anything. The second is place an energy building, or place an attack building, or a defense building. We are doing this game in a phased approach, so we'll be adding more extra nice juicy goodies later on through this year. Okay, so now we're going to give you a quick example of what the game would look like. So I'm going to be on the red side, Edwin here is going to be on the blue side. So first of all,
I think I'm going to place an attack building.
Okay, so seeing that attack building, I'm going to place a defense building there to try and cover my row.
Just because I want to attack more later, I'm going to place some energy buildings to supplement my income.
Seeing an open row, I want to take this opportunity to try and attack where he isn't defending yet.
I still don't have enough energy, maybe more energy.
Okay, so seeing this economy strategy, I want to get in on it as well. I'm going to need extra energy if I want to compete with him.
Okay, so I was trying to defend against that missile, but it looks like my bot has an off by 1 error. So I actually
Okay, so as you see, these arrows are the missiles, and they will keep moving. They will progress each round. There you can see the top missile hit my defense building. So that's going to inflict damage on my building, and because this is simplified, it's going to kill my defense building. So that row is going to be open now. But afterwards, my missile hit his home base because he didn't defend that row. Again, oversimplified, he's just got one shot and he dies. In the real game, it takes multiple shots. So you'll have to keep defending your home base on the sides, as well as figure out your economy versus your offensive strategy. How are you going to overwhelm your opponent? So this year, we officially support the 4 languages: Java, C#, Python, and JavaScript. Now, the community helped us a lot in adding these supplementary languages. They do this by submitting starter bots in that specific language. So if you can piece together a starter bot in a new language that's not on this list yet, we can accept it through a pull request and put it in a tournament. The deadline for this is the 27th of May, midnight. So if you want to add a new language that's not on this list, get it in before then. The languages we do have: C++, Rust, Kotlin, PHP, Haskell, and Golang. So for those of you that's wondering about the architecture of everything behind this game engine, we have on the front end we have Angular 5 running for a front end client facing portal that connects up to the tournament API that's in Java and Spring. This is used together with our data storage, storing your bot files on blob storage, which the bot runner and tournament manager will use to play these bot matches against each other. They're all built in Java, and we use Docker containers to run bots in different environments for each language's requirements. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys a quick code demo. So how to code your own JavaScript bot. So remember I said we have starter bots? So if you go to the Entelect Challenge website, the one I used for the video, so this Get Started button is going to take you here, give you a first step, and from here you'll download the starter pack. So what is the starter pack? It's basically this. It contains everything you need to start your first bot and play it against the basic other starter bots. So here's the list of starter bots. That's all the languages. If we look at the JavaScript bot, we can say, cool, there's only 2 files of interest here. It's a starter bot.js and a bot.json. So first of all, before carrying on, we want to build our own bot. So let's copy out this starter bot, paste it here, and give it a name. So inside this bot.json, we can change our nickname. This bot.json is used so that we know who you are, how to contact you, what language your bot is running in, and where it's located. Some languages like Java would use the target folder, and you have to specify where your jar package actually is. Each language has its own quirks. Okay, so let's call this Jozi.JS. Cool nickname. We save this. We don't need to change anything more there now. This config.json is going to tell our game runner who's playing against who. So we're going to be playing ourselves, this folder Jozi, against one of the starter bots, the Python bot. Good, that's fine. If we double click this run bat, it's going to use this jar to run a match between our 2 bots. So firstly, we want to change our bot. I'm going to use IntelliJ for this. So JetBrains is generous enough to sponsor licenses to everyone, to anyone participating will have a chance to win these licenses if they participate in the first 2 tournaments. So IntelliJ, the community edition of IntelliJ is free though. Okay, so let's open up this bot. Folder should be okay. Okay, so here's the folder with our bot. Most of you know we can use something entirely different to code JavaScript. You don't need to go full on with a big IDE. Okay, so let me put this in presentation mode for you guys, so everyone will have a better view. Okay, so here's the JavaScript bot. We know this is JavaScript because we use strict. We don't know why we use it, but we use it. So all jokes aside, we start off by initializing all global variables we'll need. If we look further in the script, we'll see we call this function initiate bot. So from here, we are going to initialize most of these global variables. The most important is the state file. The state file contains the game world map, meaning all the buildings, the missiles in play, player information, health and such. You'll get this information from this file. So this is going to be one JSON object. From there we look through all the players to find the player who is player A. That's me. My opponent is always player B. So if we continue on it, we're going to find, we initialize some more entities, and then we run strategy. This is the fun part. This is where you get to add your own logic, your own flavor to how the game should progress. So in run strategy, quite simple, bunch of if statements. So firstly we check, is there anything under attack? If it is under attack, well, defend that row. If that's not true, that means we have a chance to look around and do something else. So it's a starter bot. It's basically the most simple thing we can think of that works. It works as a blank blueprint for you guys to build your bot upon. So if we have enough energy for the most expensive building, build a random building. This function will figure out a random building and a random open space and just build something, so we don't waste our turn. If none of that happened, we probably don't have enough energy. Just do nothing then. So what we're going to want to do is add some offensive capability. So we can do this in this if statement. If there was nothing under attack, we don't have to defend. Let's attack ourselves. Let's do what I did in the slide. So we're going to add this. An if statement that checks for open rows. Is there any open undefended rows? Well, let's create a function to find that. This function is called as is, and it's going to return nothing at this moment. So let's give it some logic inside. Through this logic, first thing we need is to find all my opponent's defenders. To get that, we go through the list of all the buildings, we filter them that are of player B, my opponent, and are of building type, defense. That's the buildings we're looking for. Cool, we're going to get that list now. After that, we're going to find the rows which are open, which do not have opponent defenders on them. To get this, we use this function to give ourselves a small array, kind of like this. So it's going to give us a list of all the row numbers on the map. For each of those numbers, we are going to check, does that row, does it not contain any opponent defenders? That means it's empty. We can attack that row. There's nothing stopping us from attacking there. Good. So this is going to give us those open rows, exactly what we need. So we use this in this if statement here. And let's use that for the attack function. So let's add the attack function. Very basic, add new function, we all know this. So, what does the attack function need? It needs to know which rows are open. We already have a function for that. The get open rows function will give us a row of, it will give us an array, a list of rows that are open. Now, if we use that, we want to figure out which cell is empty in that row. So first things to note is that we can only build on our side of the map. We cannot build in the enemy's side of the map. That's his side. So we need to find cells which do not have any buildings on them. We cannot build two buildings on one cell. So the cell is empty. Also, it's on our side of the map, less than X. And it is on this row number we're looking for, this open row that we're trying to attack. Cool. Now, one thing we do need to keep in mind, what if all those cells are filled? What if all those cells have a building on them? There's no more space to build. So we might need to check for that. Here we just check, are those empty cells 0? Well, let the build random function figure something out then. There's nothing we can do on this row at that point. If the code did continue past that if statement, this means we're in luck. There's an open row with open cells where we can build a building. So firstly, we're going to set the X coordinate. We know all those cells are empty. Let's say the first cell, the second cell, and the fourth cell in this row are empty. Pick a random one from this, get its X coordinate, set that X. Our Y coordinate would be the row number we selected previously. And the building type is 1. Here you have 3 options. 0 for a defense building, 1 for an attack building, and 2 for an energy building. That's the difference between attack, defense, and economy. Okay, so we have these set up. Now we're going to send them through to the build command. Now in the build command, it's just going to write to the command text file, and it's going to use this information to write our command. It's a simple command. It's like a 0, 1, 1. This means x0, y1, and building type 1. And the game engine is going to use that to build. Okay, so our bot should be fine, but I have this tingly sensation here. I'm wondering it's going to get an open row. Cool, and then build a building there. What if we don't have enough energy to actually build there? Then we're going to try and build something we don't have enough money for that might be better used by another function. So let's fix that with a small check. Check if myself, my player, check if my energy is more than this attack building's price. And that's it. We added our first bit of logic to this bot. Now to run this bot, go back here. So this is the game runner. We're going to run this using a bat file, and it will start the match. This is the 2 bots playing against each other. We are player A. If you look at the health, you might see in between the flickering, sorry for that, that we are starting to waste the enemy. So it only took a few rounds and we actually won. Based on his score, he had a few buildings in between that we probably destroyed up here. So this is how you do your first bot and how you get a chance at winning the prize money.
Can an attack building fire more than one?
Yes, so it has a cooldown and it will keep shooting afterwards. We're going to have questions right now.
Questions? Okay. So if you want to enter, you just go to the website. You'll find the player portal link there. If you register there, you upload your bot there, and then you're entered for the competition. The website also has all the information you'll need ever for the challenge, not for anything. If you have any questions, the community is quite active on forum.entelect, and we also check all the questions if we can give answers. All the code and everything, including the starter pack, is on GitHub under Entelect Challenge. And then if you want to get hold of the team directly, you can email challenge@entelect.co.za.